done this a long time ago. I was really worried that, hey, I can't see with these things on. Can't see with this thing on. Little giants, shoulder pads, whatever. Anyway, I was really afraid I wasn't going to be able to see very well because I have astigmatism and red dots usually suck for people with astigmatism. So I was always kind of afraid to try out a red dot on a pistol because my astigmatism. I thought it wasn't really going to give me any benefit because the dot was going to flare out and I wasn't going to see. But like honestly, like even a flared out dot is smaller than this orange right here. You can see it, the front dot right there, or the front sight I should say. It's a I can't remember, it's a Mariglow something or other. It's the big orange Mariglow front sight. Anyway, the dot on here is no bigger than the front sight, you know, when I present it. And that dot is brighter, so it can be smaller and still be able to get picked up, you know, fast. So even with a flared out astigmatism eyes, I'm liking the crap out of this dot. I was smashing it from I was smacking it from the steel from 25 yards, rested. You know, well, no, I was standing hitting steel from 25 yards like it was nothing. That's nothing to be, you know, super proud of, but for me, I feel like that's pretty good. You know, because a couple weeks ago, I took this gun to the range and I was shooting like those same size sticker targets from 25, and I was having to take my time. And you know, I'd get a few in, I'd get a few right on the edge or a few out, but that mini IPSC right here, that way, is not much bigger or wider than that 8 or however many inch sticky target. And I was hitting it like every time. I might have pulled like 1 or 2 because it's a bad trigger, or bad trigger finger, I should say. But all in all, I was hitting way cleaner. It's a lot easier to line up one thing and keep the trigger squeezed and controlled while you're only trying to line up one thing than it is to try to line up 2. You know, you get kind of wiggly or whatever. So yeah, red dot on a pistol, I'm digging so far. I do have to get used to like drawing it, because I don't have pistol or suppressor height sights on the Glock yet. So I've still got the short sights. So when I'm coming up, I'm wanting to find that front sight, and I can't see it over the base of the dot, so I'm having to like tip up. It's a safe direction over there, safe direction all back here, and it's unloaded. So when I come up, I want to find that red dot or the front sight. Well, I can't see it if it's lined up, so I have to tip the gun up just a little to see that sight through the window. So when I do that, and then I realize, oh wait, I'm looking for a red dot, then I have to kind of like point the gun back down. I'm exaggerating this so you can see it, but when I come out, I'm like this, looking for that front sight, and then I have to point it back down so the dot will be there. That's just going to take practice of drawing and getting used to seeing that dot, you know, muscle memory, getting that dot lined up in that window. And I think suppressor height sights will also help with that, because like when I see that, if I find that front sight and I get fixed on it, the red dot is going to be a lot closer. It's going to be in the window. If I look at the front sight over the base of the dot or the optic right now, that dot goes right out of the window. I can't see it. So having a higher front sight is likely going to help that, and just repetition, muscle memory, getting used to coming up and knowing where that dot is. So I'm already getting a little bit better at it. So yeah, out here in daylight, it's overcast. There's not much sunlight. It's not very dark. It's just kind of like, you know, natural, no shadow light. And I can see the dot just fine. It's not glared out too much. I'm sure like later on in the day when my eyes get tired, like if I look at a computer screen, or if I've been doing stuff on my phone, like email or just scrolling for a long time, my eyes get tired, and it seems like my astigmatism gets worse, or the effects of it get worse. So that might have something to do, or it might be something to check into later on in the day. Also at night, when it's like actually dark, I'll have to see what the dot looks like and how easy it is to pick it up. Another thing, this Optic doesn't have like an auto adjust. I think some of them might. I'm not 100% sure. Some pistol dots might have an auto adjust for like the daylight, but this one doesn't. So you're either going to have to kind of anticipate what lighting you're going to be in, or just test it out in the daytime and find one that you can see in the daytime and at night, kind of the best of both worlds, and go with that. It does have the auto adjust feature. Not auto adjust. It does have shake awake. I don't know if that's what they call it, but auto live, shake awake, you know, whatever their term is. Basically, after 4 minutes, the dot will go to sleep. It'll cut off. And then as soon as you, I had it sitting in the box, like on top of the box yesterday. I had it sitting on top of the box, and I waited for it to cut off. And I walked by it and just tapped it like that, boop, and the dot came on. So, you know, it's not, you don't have to worry about the dot not being on. Like, I'm going to draw it, and I'm going to have to wait for the dot to come on. It's going to come like right when you, it's going to be on, like right when you put the holster on, it's going to be on. Every time you move, right when you grab the gun, it's cutting on. So you don't have to worry about it not being on. And also with that shake awake or auto live, you have to actually cut the dot on for that to work. You can't just like cut the dot all the way off with the buttons and then expect it to turn on when you pick it up. You have to turn it on with the button and then just let it sit. It'll put itself to sleep, or, you know, it's kind of like computer terms. It'll put itself to sleep, and then as soon as you touch it, it's coming back on. So you have to actually, you know, cut it on and find a dot brightness that suits you, and then, you know, it's gonna work from there on out. Another just cool thing that, you know, whenever you, like, you don't know, there's no more having to squeeze and worry about it. You just take this part of your hand and just hook it right here, and it's going. You know, you don't have to worry about it. If you've got a good optic, you shouldn't be running one that you're not confident in. But I mean, it's just another big shelf. You know, you do a reload. Missed it that time, but you know, it's just a lot bigger surface to worry about and play with when you've got the Optic on the back. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, because the majority of you guys watching this probably already have optics on your handgun. I was just late to the game because I didn't want to spend that much money on a optic or weapon system, whatever, that I wasn't sure how it was going to work. I didn't want to buy it and then it sucked, you know, with my eyes or whatever, and then just be in the hole and not be able to use it for anything. But anyway, they sent this Optic to me, which I gladly took because, you know, it makes sense. I want to test out a red dot, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. Well, hey, they're going to send me one to test, so I'm glad they did. And I'm going to test the heck out of it, and I think I'm going to enjoy it.